Okay, so I thought I would do a video just sort of discussing my thought processes and some of the things that go through my head when I'm playing Duel. Um, so this is a game I had against Zaccubus a few days ago, and I think it kind of shows the sort of standard Duel on ASDF. It was fairly slow overall, and ended up being pretty close in the end. So yeah, let's get started. So at the beginning I had an option between the sniper spawn and probably one of the minigun spawns, but generally you want to avoid the minigun spawns in this map because your opponent will be able to get to the major items like the shock and the sniper and the rockets well before you do. So I choose the sniper spawn, which means he's either going to be at the rockets or the link gun. So he spawned down at the rockets, like I thought he might have done, and he picked up the rockets and he got the shock, and I've taken the vials. So I heard him go under me, so he's probably going for the flak cannon around now. So I'm just going to hold this top area so that he can't take a fight with me because I've got a longer range weapon, and even if he hits me with the shock rifle, I got those vials, so it's kind of acting as a buffer so that I can take an extra shot in the fight. Okay, so right now he's in a pretty poor position because I've got this top area and the 100's coming up in about 17 seconds. So I've got a couple of options here. I can drop down and take a shot at him, which is what I end up doing, which is a risky move because you give up the entire top section of the map, and it's only worth it if you actually do damage. Which I do end up doing in the end, so that worked out pretty well for me, but he's got those two 25s, so he's back up to 80, which means he can take another sniper shot. So I've got to be careful, and I can't just sort of rush this armor and sit on it, because I don't have a splash weapon, so I can't just spam the corners up near sniper and sort of push him off the top area. So we jump for the 100, quite a risky play, but it's up in about 5 seconds, and he zones me off with those shock cores, and he doesn't, at least I don't think he hit a combo, but regardless he's still got a lot of shock ammo left, so I can't really push, so I'm going to take the low ground and see if I can hit him from there, because if you're trying to shoot him from the top, he's got a really easy corner to sort of spam shock around that can so he can do a lot of damage to you. So I'm going to jump down and see if I can hit him again, which I do end up doing. So now he's in a really crap position because he's got 10 health, and because of the way the armor works, even if he takes that 100 armor, that's only about 25 effective health, so just about anything will take him out if he gets it. So really what I'm trying to do now is just is sort of threaten him with damage, so that taking the 100's a risk. It doesn't really matter if I don't kill him because he took those two 25s earlier, so he's got nothing to fall back on. So I'm gonna sort of stand my ground and zone him into that side of the map where there's really nothing for him. And right about now, all the weapons he took will be coming up, so there'll be a rocket launcher and a shock pretty soon, and the 50's coming up behind me. So I'm in a really good place right now.
First blood.
So what happened there was I missed my shot, and I go up to see if I can hit him when he's sort of retreating to the flak area, but he actually comes up to try and get the vials, which luckily for me didn't spawn, so I kill him and I also get the vials. I'm pretty sure he would have died in one shot anyway, but it worked out pretty perfectly for me. I didn't get the 100, which is a shame, but I'm still in a good position because I got the 50 and all the weapons. So I think he might have just headshot me there, which is unfortunate. So all my armor's gone. He's actually got a bigger stack than me, even once I've got these 25s. because he picked up the helmet, which means I can't headshot him either. So taking this belt is going to be a bit of a struggle, so I'm probably going to play a little more cautiously for a bit. So he's jumped down and he's in a reasonably poor position because I've got the rockets out and I can do a lot of damage to him if I hit. Belt's coming up in 4 seconds, and I think, yeah, I dive for it, which doesn't turn out too well. So I dive for it for a little bit late because, well, I distinctly remember the clock for me saying 9:01 when I hit the ground. So I don't know, might have been a bit of server lag there, but regardless, I did jump a little too late for comfort. So really what I want to be doing now is getting back to the 100, so I'm probably going to take the lift on my right, maybe see if I can do a little bit of damage and try and get back up to the top area where the vials should have spawned by now, and then I'll have a really good sort of position to take that next 100 and then push into the 50 area. So I ended up just taking the lift and going through shock, which might have been a mistake because those vials at the top did just spawn and I could have had a larger stack and maybe a more even fight with him, and he's locking me into this 100 area. I don't think he has a shock, so I can kind of avoid him for a bit. So I'm not too in danger, but it definitely could have gone a little better for me. So I'm sort of warily poking at him right now. I'm just looking towards the thigh pads area to see if I can get a sniper shot and going up to the top area to see if I can hit him. But I'm not committing because I know that if he does damage to me and I don't return the damage, then, or even if I return the exact same amount of damage, he's still in a better position because he can take this next 100 because he's got the belt. So, yeah, I have to be sort of careful rather than just going all gung-ho about it and trying to get a kill. So right now I'm baiting this 100 armor because I kind of need it. I picked up the helmet, so I think I would get about 40 armor out of this 100, which would be nice. But it's not sort of imperative that I get it. It's just I'd like to be able to do some damage here, but I'm not going to commit to a fight because I know that he could just sort of two-shot me with rockets or shock or flak. So I jumped up for the 100 because he spotted me, and he fires a rocket, and I decide that I don't want to take the rocket damage because if he hits me I'm going to be in a really bad position because I'll be bumped up into the air and he can get some really easy shots onto me. So I back off up to the sniper and sort of bait the 100 out, and I can bait the vials at the top out. And he dives straight for the 100, which was lucky because I can take the vials and I can go and get the 50, which actually, as it turns out, would be more armor than getting the 100 because I've already got some of the chest plate left over. And I heard him go under me and take a jump pad, so I'm reasonably safe, and there's rockets down there if I need it because I'm out of ammo. So belts up. He can it's pretty much free for him. We have relatively even stacks, but I don't really want to take a fight because I know his aim's better than mine. I want to sort of get in a position where I can set up early and take the belt from him. So I dived late. I didn't really have the intention of taking the belt there. I just wanted to perhaps damage him as he came out, and then if I get that first rocket I can do a load of damage. And my plan here was to hit him with the rocket as he came out, and then back off onto the jump pad. But I think I actually jump over the jump pad, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't end up too badly for me. So I saw this combo coming. I don't think I took the jump pad. I think I take it after he's popped it and maybe jump up. I'm not entirely sure. But what happened there was he took the jump pad. He took advantage of the fact that I missed it, and now he has a really good sort of position to take this 100 armor, which should be coming up relatively soon. So I'm not in the best of positions. I did take a bit of damage there from a shock primary, so his stack is higher than mine. So I don't want to be putting myself in danger at the moment. Having said that, I do jump up, which was probably, in hindsight, a bad idea, but it turned out alright. And now I have the advantage, positioning-wise, on this 100. So overall that was a pretty terrible fight for me. I only did about 100 damage to him. Actually it looks like I've done 150 or so. Whereas he did a load of damage. But I did get the 50 in the end of it. So it didn't turn out too badly. We've got roughly even stacks now. So from a situation where he had ever so slightly more than me, I've turned it into a situation where we're pretty much even. But at the end of the day it hasn't made a huge amount of difference. And he's still got, he could still shoot me here, because he's got hit scan weapons with ammo, and mine are both out. I know my sniper's got ammo, but I'm not using it for whatever reason. So I heard him take the jump pad, and I fire a grenade up, just in case he runs into it when he's trying to get the vials. I suspect he's going for the health. So those vials and that dodge pretty much broadcasted his location to me. So I know exactly where he is now, and I can approach with caution. He's got a significantly higher stack than me now because he got those vials and he got the helmet, so I'm going to have a rough time trying to take the next items from him. So I can tell that he's going for the belt, and he hits me once and I just back off because I know that I have no chance in a fight when he's that heavily stacked, because he took the 100. But I do have timing on the 100 because I heard him take it, so I can set up for that when it next comes up, and this 50 is about to come up, so I'm not in the worst of positions, and I've still got this 1-0 lead that I'm sort of clinging on to, and hopefully he'll push into me at some point in the game and take a fight that maybe he shouldn't. So as expected, he took the belt, and I expect him to take this jump pad up, so I'm fairly prepared for it. That being said, he hits a really nice combo that I wasn't expecting, and then follows it up with a sort of corner snipe shot that kills me. So now it's 1-1, and he has position on this 100 armor, and he also has the top area, so I have to be really careful. And I would expect I would spawn around the flak area, so I might get a flak cannon. Helmet's not up for a while. I think the 100's up fairly soon. But he's got cover over both of those, so I really can't get anything for a good while. So he left the 50 up because he doesn't need it. He's got a massive stack, and I think his thought process in that was he can take a fight with me if he wants. If I pushed up to the sniper area with flak, he could just sort of dodge back onto the 100 armor and nullify any damage I did to him. So there, I expected him to jump, so I fire a flak ball, but I was too sort of committed. I was too far forward to really get out of the way. If he'd had a rocket there, he could have done, you know, a full 100 damage. But luckily, he only did 70 with the sniper, and I've still got 50. And I think the 225s are still up, so I can get back to 100. And the pads have just come up, so he's probably going to get those. So once again, I'm in a position where I really have no items, and I'm going to have to get something big to get back into the game. So I managed to juke him there, and he's taking the jump pad up towards me when I have this positioning, which may have been a mistake, because I could do a full flak on him and do a load of damage, but he's also got positioning on the belt, so even if I do that, he can really just sort of jump down, spam some combos back up at me, grab the belt and be back up to full stack. So really whatever he does here doesn't really matter, because he's got that belt behind him. So what I'm probably going to look to do is back off the belt and get as far away as possible, so that I can take this next 100 and maybe the 50, and perhaps the vials. So he pushes really aggressively there. I think belt's still up actually, so if I do get a good spawn, I'll probably rush the belt. Yeah, unfortunately I got a pretty bad spawn there, but I do have time on the belt because I heard him take it. I think the 50 is the only thing left up, and he's probably going to approach it via the minigun sort of route. And I've got the flak out so I can spam corners and stuff. And if he does choose to go for it, which would be kind of unnecessary because he's got a full stack and he doesn't really need it. If he does try to take it, I can try to do some damage as he does. So I hear him take that shock ammo, so I know he's down below me, and he can very, very easily bait this out, so I'm really cautious when going for this 50. I instead just choose to spam it, which was a wise move, because as I expected, he's just going to use the 50 for bait because he's got a full stack and he doesn't need it. And you can wipe the 50 off someone pretty easily, so it's really not worth going for if you're in my situation there. So I do a good bit of damage there, but I am forced to back off because his stack's still better and he's got more weapons than me. I don't want to take a fight that I'm likely to lose, because on ASDF you can get this sort of perpetual control where you're running all the items, and even though your opponent gets sort of chances to take them off you, or chances to get the smaller items, because you've got such a weapon advantage, you can really sort of pressure them off the items, and you can just nullify whatever armor they get. So he's essentially got this 100 armor now, because I had to ditch it, so he's going to be back up to full stack. So while that damage was nice, all it really did was stop me dying there. So I hit the nice sniper shot, and take the belt off him, which is good because I can now start to break down that health stack. But he comes through and combos me, so now I'm really low and I'm almost certainly going to die here. But that was a reasonable attempt at breaking his stack down a bit. So here I'm up top, so I'm going to be really careful, because I know he can just sort of jump on me and kill me. So there I was using sound to my advantage. I had him take the flak, so I'm not going to go up because he can just sort of go one or two dodges towards the jump pad and get up there and chase me really easily, and there's no reason for me to be up there because the 100's not up. But instead he just sort of chases me down with the link gun, and I get a really crap spawn, and I think I get spawn fragged here because I rush him with Enforcer. So the 100's up, the 50's up, he's almost certainly going to get the 100, but looking at his stack, he only had the 100 armor before, so that 81 armor is all sort of chestplate armor, so he's only going to get 19 armor out of it. So I'm going to head towards the 50 carefully, because I know that there are plenty of lines of sight where he can just sort of snipe me as I walk by. Okay, so in all my foolishness, I completely forgot that the belt was up. It was actually up about 10 seconds ago, and he values 100 more for whatever reason. I think he probably mistimed it, or maybe he assumed that I hadn't got timing on it. So I probably should have just rushed this first, actually, instead of taking that top area. I thought I was going to go for the 50, but apparently I thought differently when I was in game. So I jump on this belt late. This shock ball is probably going to do some damage, or it might not do, but regardless, this is a great situation for me because I get a free belt out of it, and he has to do damage here to put me in a really vulnerable position. And actually totally avoid getting damage whatsoever there, which is really good for me, because now I'm 125, 150 and he's 170, 100. So even with that massive health stack, I'm actually, I think, 5 above him, yeah, in total stack. So he needs this 50, and so I'm just gonna cover it with sniper and hope he doesn't take it without taking damage. So I missed the shot, and I instead back off to take flak because I need a close range weapon, because I'm planning to set up for this 100 and I don't want him to jump on me and then have to defend myself with sniper. The reason I didn't go for another shot was because he could very well just whip out sniper and shoot me as well, and I don't want to break this sort of even situation that I worked to get earlier. So I get out of there taking barely any damage, and I pick up shock on the way out. So I'm in a really good position. He's actually taken some damage. I'm not sure how. I probably should have been paying a bit more attention, but I've actually got almost the same stack as him, but now almost the same sort of weapon advantage as he had. So it's almost exactly even, and belt's coming up in about 25 seconds, so I've got plenty of time to just sort of gather any ammo or other resources that I need. So I'm starting to build up my health stack again. I don't know how I missed him there at shock. That just totally went over my head. But now I have 300 total stack, so I'm essentially ahead of him. I don't know if I have a rocket launcher. I can't see. I think I do, but it's low on ammo, so I'm not sure if I take this fight. If I was to decide now, I probably wouldn't. I'd just sort of back off to the upper area and see if I can get position on the 100 and the belt. So I actually hit a really nice rocket there, and then I think I rocketed myself against the wall, which is a shame, but that turned out really well for me, because I did significantly more damage than he did to me, I think. Or maybe not, even. I think it was pretty even. I mean, he's got a better stack than I have now, so actually he did more damage than me. So that was yeah, I was right, that was a pretty bad fight to take. But I now have position on the belt, so I forced him off to that side of the map. And there really isn't much there for him in terms of health, because he's got such a big health stack, so those 25s aren't really necessary for him. So I know he's probably going to go for the thigh pads or the 100. So he went for the thigh pads, like I thought he might have done, and then he jumped down, kind of like I did for the first belt. He was a little bit late, which was unfortunate, and I ended up hitting him direct rocket and doing a load of damage to him, so now he's really low, and I'm almost certain he's going to go for that health now. I was just sort of spamming corners because I didn't hear which direction he went, because he didn't pick up any ammo on the way, so he didn't make any sound cues, but I know he's at one of the health locations, and I think the 100 is either up or up pretty soon. So it was unfortunate that I sort of messed up my jump up there. I think I missed the pad totally. And then I do something risky, and I really rush him with sniper, and he totally destroys my belt. So the advantage that I did have, I no longer have. So I'm going to have to be a bit more cautious in the next sort of 30 seconds as that 100 comes back up. So I see an opportunity to take a fight with him. Probably not the best idea, but it ends up going pretty well because I knock him up against the sloped wall, and that puts him in a really, really good position for me to rocket him, because he's got a really sort of predictable trajectory. And it's about time that I start making up this frag deficit I have, because there's only 3 minutes left, and if he plays super defensively, then I'm going to have a hard time making up all those frags in 3 minutes. So that was really risky. I was at a really low HP, but taking that fight and actually winning it has put me in a great position to take this 50, take the 25. I think he's probably going to get this armor. I choose to go for the 50 instead, because if he spawns near sniper, all he has to do is take out enforcer and shoot me once and I'll die. So I choose the safer option. So I've had this sort of surge of risk taking that's put me in a much better situation, but now I have to calm myself down a bit and take it slightly more slowly.
Three minutes remain.
So I waited on those rockets because if I'm planning to start fragging him, I really need rockets. They're my crutch weapon at the moment. And as I expected, he got the 100. I would like to be able to get back up to the top area and maybe some positioning on this belt, but unless I can get my health stack back up, it's not looking likely that I'll be able to take this next belt. So what happened there was I hit a really nice rocket, and I decide that now that I've hit that rocket, I've actually got a higher stack than him. I can take this fight, or at least be a little more risky. I don't know if I take this fight, I can't quite remember, but I was certainly more risky. I didn't opt for the jump pad. I went straight to see if I could kill him, because he's stuck down there with shock, and I can just sort of rush him with a close range weapon, and his armor advantage is almost nullified by that point. And I make quite a risky play that just sort of like before, it puts me in an advantageous position, despite perhaps not being the most intelligent play to make. I saw an opening and I went for it, and it turned out really well. And at this stage in the game, you really have to take those openings, because otherwise you're gonna end up you're just gonna not gonna get any frags, and you're not gonna make up the deficit you got. And we exchanged shots there. I think he had vials or something or other. So better situation for me than him, because I had the belt, so it's going to have far less effect on me. The percentage of health he took off me is much lower than the percentage of health I took of him, but he can back off onto this 100 and then we'll be almost exactly even. Luckily I hit a nice shot there which puts him on the back foot a bit, but he does spawn by the 50 and he can continue sort of avoiding me, and now he's going to have to go really defensively, because I've turned this 5-1 into a 5-4 now, and he really doesn't want to give up any more frags, because if I take the lead at this point, it's going to be really difficult for him to push, because there's only going to be 2 more belts because there's 2 minutes left in the game. So you ideally just don't want to let your opponent get frags up on you in the last couple of minutes. So he picks up flak. He's continuing to avoid me because I've got such a weapon advantage, and despite maybe not having so much HP, I've actually only got about 60 total stack up on him. So he takes flak, and now I can't really push a fight super close, and I have to be wary of it, and I'm probably going to go and get some health to make up for that. So really, he's sort of doing everything within his power to stay out of the way at the moment. He's obviously got timing on both the pads and the 100, and the 100's up about now, so I think he assumed I was going for the 100 armor, and he's taken the pads, but I was waiting by the link gun because you get this really nice overview of both armors, so if someone goes for the lesser armor because they're out of control, then you can punish them for that. And he wisely backs off and is rewarded with the 50, because I had to make a choice between the 50 and the 100. And the next major item is the belt, so I really want to be setting up for that now, so that he can't force me into a fight where I have to push into him with rockets or something, and he has flak, so it would be totally on par by that point. And yeah, I really don't want to take a fight like that at this stage. So he dived at me and I hit a nice air rocket, but he backs off almost immediately. Starts spamming combos, I think, and flak. So I, instead of pushing into him, which maybe would have been the better play, I decided to take the safer option, because I have got a minute and a half to make 1 frag, and I decided that that's enough time to make this happen. I don't want to be overly risky, because if he gets a frag up on me and just goes super defensive for the last minute, there's no chance that I'm gonna win the game. So he did some nice damage to me with the sniper there, but it really doesn't matter because I can back straight off onto the 100 and know the 50's about to come up. Shock and rockets are both also up, so this side of the map has loads of stuff that I can deny from him. And he's up on the sniper, so he's probably going to hold this top area, so I have to push up to frag him. So he's trying to put me into a position where I'm at a disadvantage, and have to make up a frag, so I'd have to make some kind of on-the-fly decision, which usually works out badly. I heard him take the vials, and he didn't come out the top, so I assume he jumped down. I don't remember hearing him. I just sort of, out of intuition, I assumed that he was going to be down there, so I predict he's down there essentially, and I'm not. You know, it's not unexpected that he's waiting for me. That works out quite well for me, because now he's backed off by the Stinger, and this is a reasonably strong point of the map, because I've got enough time. Well, I've got just enough time, sort of, to waste a bit of time, knowing that he can't really do anything. And this is a great position to do that, because you can pin them to the wall with shock, stop them from jumping around. You can also do the wall dodge onto the jump pad and then get a really good sort of vantage point position at the top, and you can back off onto the 100. So he's in a reasonably poor position, but I don't want to waste too much time, because time's running out on the clock. So we have a nice little exchange there that works out quite well for me, and I can back off onto the armor or the pads, and he doesn't really have anywhere to go. So this is a really good time for me, or it's a really good opportunity for me to take the last frag. So he cleverly waits. He expects me to jump down for the 100, and he's picked up some health, so he isn't really one-shottable. Even if I do spam a combo right around that corner and it hits him, he can push himself right back onto the wall and probably not die. And in just sitting out here in the open, I'm taking quite a big risk, because if he shoots me with the sniper now and I die, that's the end of the game, pretty much. So what I want to do is take this 100, probably go get some health, take the belt, and then I'll have 30 seconds where I really have to make a play. So a lot like the last belt fight, he dives for it, but then realizes that I have the weapon advantage, I've got a stack advantage, and he backs off and he goes up to the top area, and I think I miss him with shock, which was unfortunate, and he's going to get those vials, so he will no longer be one-shottable by sniper. That should put him at about 89 health, and I've got 30 seconds now. The armor's coming up soon. The thigh pads are coming up in about 30 seconds, so they're essentially out of the game by this point. But he's in a really defensive position. But having said that, he doesn't have much health, so I have to make a gamble between taking a really safe play and taking something that's going to be quite risky. And at this stage in the game, with 30 seconds left, I am probably going to have to take the risky play.
"30 seconds left."
So I jump up. I know he's up here, because this is pretty much the only place that he's safe at, and he can really just sort of back off and spam me with flak. He's he's been really defensive, which is exactly what he has to do. And I think he hits me twice with flak. Yeah, and by this point he's totally annihilated any chance that I had of taking the last frag from him. So at this point it's pretty much game over. If he fragged me now, that would be the deal sealed. The only chance I would have would be hitting a rocket, because he can take the HP over there, get back to 100, and then he's got position in this armor, and I have to play. I'm in this situation where at any other point in the game, all you would have to do now is just play purely defensively, but with 25 seconds left and one frag to make up, you have to kind of take a risk.
Ten, 9, 8, 7.
So what happens there is I think I hit him, so he's really low, and he wisely just sort of camps this 100 area. I sort of assumed he was going to go for the health. I could have potentially won the game, or at least taken it to overtime if I dived on the 100 and hit a really lucky shot. But instead I assume he's gone for the health, because he must be pretty low, and I jump down
6,
and
5,
try to take some sniper shots. But of course he's not there, and he's wisely
1.
waiting by the 100. And that's the end of the game. A nice close game, fairly sort of cerebral in parts, but I think it fairly accurately sums up the sort of games you get in ASDF. Sort of slow paced, low risk, but sometimes really high risk, high reward situations. Anyway, thanks for watching.